Okay, you guys, it's been a while since I've put up a video, so I wanted to give you the latest update. And I know the sound quality is not very good. I don't have like a professional mic or anything like that, so hopefully you can bear with it. And I think I got a pretty good story for you. So anyway, here goes. I ended up in the Swedish Hospital here in North Seattle after a severe herxheimer reaction on Tuesday night. The emergency room went okay, except the doctors seemed really young and not able to understand anything about herxheimers or kidney stones or anything else related to health. They did know about drugs, and they put me out of pain after several hours. Then, since my electrolytes were going completely wonkers, they wanted to monitor me overnight. So I said, okay. Never having been in a hospital before, I thought, well, it couldn't hurt. The first thing I learned is that you don't get drinking water, you get tap water, full of chlorine, fluoride, and every other menace to mankind. They wheeled me into a room with this poor elderly woman who had multiple fractures, and she was in severe pain. It was about 2 a.m. in the morning by then. That night she cried on and off in pain and begged the night nurse for a cup of coffee. "Please, can I have a cup of coffee?" She was allowed to have coffee. After 3 hours of just constant begging for a cup of coffee, she started weeping in desperation. The night nurse told her coldly, "Coffee was nothing to cry about." Still, no coffee came. Meanwhile, I can't sleep from all the noise and pain I'm in, since I'm now constantly passing kidney stones, and from the desperate cries from the woman next to me. I learned quickly that pain meds in the hospital are nothing like pain meds in the emergency room. The pain meds they gave me in the hospital were just completely ineffective. They were nothing like what they gave me in the emergency room. So I lay there in pain with this gigantic IV needle stuck into my left hand that I was continually jabbing by accident, and this bizarre demonic bed would never stay still. This bed never stopped moving. Is no matter what position you get yourself in to try and get comfortable, it will immediately readjust itself to make sure that you have absolutely no back support or any other support for that matter. The pain in my lower back was just getting worse and worse. By the next day, Wednesday, I was starving, but I couldn't eat. All I could do was stare hungrily at my food. I was hungry, tired, and in pain. They convinced me I had to stay another day. So I tried to sleep during the day, but all the visitors to the woman next door and non-stop interruptions of staff, blood draws, and beeping machines guaranteed no sleep during the day either. The second night, which is Wednesday night, was the same as usual. No sleep except for 1 hour. That demonic bed decided to sandwich me like a hot dog while dumping my entire body onto the metal base plate of the bed. I awoke after 1 hour of sleep, sweating profusely and in pain from my lower back and the base plate. I was sandwiched at the bottom of the bed on the base plate with no cushion and covered in sweat. No matter how I tried to reposition myself, that demonic bed always made sure there was no support and readjusted itself immediately. I began to notice bed sores on my elbows and knees from the stiff, hard sheets, plastic covering, and hard bed surface. They just added to my pain. The second day, Thursday, I could feel all my sense of humor leaving. I was starving and couldn't eat as usual. I was in pain, tired, and overheated. My bed was next to a window that faced the sun, so I was being slowly cooked by the heat. I figured out where the plug-in was for the bed and disconnected it. At least that demonic bed would lay still. The third night, which was a Thursday night, was the crown jewel. On this night, that poor elderly woman had diarrhea because of all the meds they gave her, and she told the night nurse through sobs of tears that she was lying in her excrement. The night nurse grunted, "Okay," and left the room. 1.5 hours later, The elderly woman is crying and begging for someone to help her out of her excrement. Finally, with much ado and after 2 hours, a team comes in and moves her in order to clean her up. She's crying out in pain because of all her fractures. Meanwhile, I'm beginning to lose my sanity from lack of food, constant pain, and lack of rest. I start beating the bed. I feel like I was being driven, just stark raving mad. I grabbed my IV tube and just tried to bite it in half. I stopped myself just in time from turning into what felt like a werewolf. At least that's what it felt like. The next day, Friday, when they told me I needed to stay for a couple more days, I almost screamed, "I'm leaving at 11! You people are killing me!" I knew if I didn't leave right then, I would never have the strength to get out of there after that. I dragged myself out of there, and since then, it has taken me a long 2 additional weeks to recover from that experience in the herxheimers. So the whole end of this story is I guess I learned a couple things. Lesson 1 is herxheimers are no joke. So if you're going to start a major detox, make sure you work up to it. Lesson 2, don't ever agree to stay in a hospital.